James Bond is reportedly in production hell over at Amazon because they're in a bitter standoff between the Broccoli family, which has creative control over the franchise, but then Amazon having full ownership over the franchise. It looks like there's not going to be a new James Bond movie anytime soon for this reason. Amazon wants to create Marvel-style ideas with TV show and movie spin-offs in the James Bond cinematic universe. Obviously, Barbara Broccoli, who is in charge of the creative decision-making, thinks that this is stupid, because it is. It's been over 3 years since the last James Bond was released. We're nowhere near getting another one. The Wall Street Journal report has now revealed behind-the-scenes troubles. They say after their $6.5 billion purchase, Amazon's relationship with the family that oversees the franchise has all but collapsed. Barbara Broccoli and Amazon are fighting over the direction of the franchise. They're starting to push for Marvel-style ideas in the Bond franchise, including several spin-off shows and movies. And Barbara Broccoli seemingly has zero interest in making them. She's taken full reins and told friends that the people at Amazon are effing idiots. She doesn't believe Amazon is a great fit for Bond and has taken the franchise hostage, refusing to develop any new films under their banner.
So what happened was Amazon bought MGM, which gives them 50% stake in James Bond. This is a horrible idea. And for the next 20 years, any studio executive or creative who gives their elevator pitch with the words Marvel in it, with the word Marvel in it, should be banned from Hollywood. I can already picture it right now. We'd get a Q TV show where he's developing the gadgets in his lab.
There will be a Bond girl series for sure.
Look, there was going to be a movie based on Jinx, which was the Halle Berry character from Die Another Day. They'll also, what's worse, the most awful way that they could do progressive Hollywood storytelling is they would do an M prequel, but instead of doing the Ralph Fiennes M, which is the current M, they would do the Judi Dench M, so they'd get a younger actress to portray younger Judi Dench, even though that's not the James Bond M character that's canonical right now, because it would be great for progressive Hollywood ideology. This is a really bad idea.
20 from That Stands Fantastic after the Crisis Party. Thank you. We have a 20. That Stands Fantastic said, yo, why is chat lying? Ain't no way there are that many people on the nice list. We are flawed. Also, hi PCC, did you hear back from Taco Bell? If we keep saying Taco Bell with the algorithm, will the algorithm guide them to you for us to live Moss? Hopefully we can manifest our Taco Bell sponsorships one day.
Are we going to live Moss?
We're going to live Moss.
There was also a point in this where they talk about how they were in a meeting. It says, but now it has emerged that an ideological split might also be holding up production after an employee silenced a meeting by admitting, quote, I don't think James Bond is a hero. Now, if I was Barbara Broccoli and I've been, bringing, I know, and I've been, bringing James Bond to the screen for decades and decades and decades, and now you're in this room with all of these people that you haven't had to work with before, I imagine like her stomach dropped out when she heard something like that. But this is their own fault for, first of all, they've changed James Bond inherently anyways. He isn't really the character that used to be on screen. He's kind of a wimp now. He defers to the women in his life. And the last few the last few Daniel Craig James Bond movies left a lot to be desired for a lot of people. I don't actually think No Time to Die was as bad as people said. It was just boring to me once I finally got around to watching it, but it's not the same character with the same mythology that used to be there. And this is what happens when billion-dollar tech companies get involved in trying to produce art. So they've done well with things like The Terminal List, which I thought was very, very good, albeit probably a bit too dark for my taste normally. Reacher, also very, very good season 1. Okay, season 2. They hit the nail on the head every once in a while when it's a property that they don't think people are going to care about. Everything else, ask anybody who likes a Wheel of Time if that's good, right? There's a lot of stuff they screw up as well, but Amazon doesn't really care about quality content. They care about output, right? Which is why they're like, we could have so many TV shows. Look, think of all the characters. We could have a Felix Leiter TV show. We could have a M show, a Q show. And everyone's just like, bro, that's why Marvel isn't even Marvel anymore. Like, Marvel stopped being Marvel because they put out 10 gazillion shows
There have been
and nobody
too
cares.
many examples of this formula not working for them to really think that that's a viable strategy. They're trying to John Wickify James Bond as well. This is the same thing happening to John Wick.
But even
Mark my words, the Continental TV show blows. No one liked it. No one watched it.
That is not true. People liked it. It did get watched. I did not like it, but that's just me.
And then they're making the ballerina movie that is in the John Wick universe. But it's stupid.
Those are also not expected to be the box office contenders that
another
a
20.
James Bond is.
Mr. Moose Knuckle said Amazon's James Bond would have ended with a post-credit scene with M approaching Bond to join the 00 initiative.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
They're gonna do it.
And also, when it comes to John Wick started out as one movie that didn't do a whole lot of it world built within it in the first movie, meaning like you got images of the Continental because he goes there. You saw the currency that they use because they do it, but they don't explain it. So they left room to build on it without obvious calls for a sequel right off the bat. And it happened organically because interest grew as it went. Interest is not growing in James Bond. Interest is waning.
Actually, you said this about tech companies, but Apple has a better reputation when it comes to their original series.
Yeah, but nobody watches it
Than
because it's
Amazon.
Apple TV Plus and nobody has it.
Just saying, Severance is a good show. Recommend it.
mankind,
Highly
too.
recommend it.
A lot of people. I mean, there are still a lot of people that believe that it is inevitable that one day Disney will be sold to Apple. That the tech companies will be the last ones standing.
I don't think Apple has enough money to buy Disney, like, at all. Like, they track pretty well, like, with their incomes. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
A lot of people. I mean, I think a lot of it's more that they think that their television divisions might get sold one day, but I don't think that happens either because it's tied so directly to the parks and their ability to monetize cross-platform.
Unless, like, someone files a Sherman antitrust on them and they have to get rid of Marvel.
Well, it's really funny because that's what they're like. David Zaslav at Warner Brothers, like, yeah, we love Trump. He's nice towards the idea of merger and acquisition.
Yeah.
They want to be able to do that. They want to be able to buy up more companies. My tweet about this whole thing was, consequence of consolidation is my band name. And that's what's going on right now is MGM
really
used to
good
be its
band
own
name.
thing. And now it's just Amazon Slop where you get Red One. And
Since
I
you
love it,
mentioned
but nobody...
Slop, it says Jennifer Salke at Amazon was tasked with dealing with broccoli. Her description of the James Bond franchise as content reportedly infuriated Barbara Broccoli.
As
it should.
Yeah, ask Jen Selke how Rings of Power is doing now, and we'll talk about whether it's a good idea to take billion-dollar IP and turn it into slop for
So
Amazon
they
Prime.
spent more on James Bond than they spent on Lord of the Rings.
They
IP?
spent Well, they didn't buy James Bond. They bought MGM, which
Okay.
is way more than just James Bond. They don't even own James Bond. They own 50% stake in James
Right,
Bond.
yeah.
So
But they spent, what was it? like $500 million on
250
Rings
million.
of Power.
Or was it 500 or 250? I thought they
There was, like,
spent
half-
250 million and then they spent 500 million making the show or something like
Right,
that.
it was actually like 750 million.
It's just, there's a 20 there.
It's insane.
Pop Culture Junkie says Broccoli will wait this out. It's family business that her father created, and she won't let Amazon soil it. Yes, she does have a seemingly. Everyone in Hollywood should aim to be as passionate about their work as she seems to be about keeping the legacy of this character alive.
But she has a non-binary they daughter named Butter Broccoli who's gonna ruin
No
it
way.
when she dies.
No, but that's the thing though. It's like when you look at something like this, it is true that the death of a character. Think of Lord of the Rings. The death of a character, or like think of Tolkien. The death of a character or an IP is only 2 generations away.
Yeah, exactly.
The kids might take care to treat it with respect, but once you get into the grandkids and the great grandkids, they're like cha-ching.
So it's not a matter of if James Bond as a franchise is gonna die out.
when.
It's when It's just hopefully not
Oh, it was-
with the next slate of movies. But it looks like they're looking at Josh O'Connor to play the next James Bond.
I'm sorry,
according
but
to a prediction in the Hollywood Reporter.
aim for his ears.
He
You will hit
was,
him every time.
He was one of the cucked love interests in Zendaya's Challengers movie
Oh,
earlier
really?
this year. His ears are giving Dumbo.
Like you could absolutely, like he wouldn't even have to wear like a headset, like or like an earbud, because it would be extremely noticeable.
Disparu
in
said
there.
this guy was in that cuck Zendaya romance. He'd be scared to go down a dark alley alone. He's as suave, sophisticated, and intimidating as a spiced pumpkin latte.
Yeah,
Factual.
I'm way happier with the idea of Aaron Taylor Johnson playing James Bond than this dude.
Well, I don't know. If you trust the rumors, it's not going to happen.
This dude's head is shaped like a candy corn. Like, no,
Bro is a trapezoid.
bro. Like I just
Getting all geometric in this bitch.
Like I can't. Like James, and again, I cannot stress to you enough. You want to do spin-offs for John Wick, and here's the other reason why I think it works more for John Wick. The through line for John Wick is the action more than the story, because the story has gotten so ridiculous at this point. It's the high table, it's all of this stuff, which makes no sense if you've only seen the first movie, because it's gotten so insane from movie 1 to movie 4. But what has been consistent through all of it is the dedication to the action scenes in that franchise. So even if John Wick isn't on screen, there is a demonstrable bit of evidence to your eyes what you're watching is something from the creators of John Wick, the way it's shot. And James Bond, all of the consistency comes from the character itself.
Yeah.
So you can have, so what you'll have to do is you'll have to do a Q series where he's making the gadgets. Oh, he'll have to have some annoying love, like he'll have to have a love interest, and he'll have to do the thing where he goes to M to tell them about some gadget, and then they do the thing where like, shut up and tell me in plain English, which they do with every character like this. But then what they'll have to do is they'll have to hire James Bond, whoever their next James Bond is, to pop in like once every 4 episodes. To be like, oh, Q, what are you working on? You know, to make you realize that you're watching a James Bond show.
We have another 20 from Cesario JPN. Young James Bond. Oh no, not young Sheldon. Spy Academy, Jane Bond, and an animated Q Adventures. There's your spin-off ideas, since it's going to end up doing anyway, because they're super obvious and lame. Now go make the movie, Amazon, ya twats.
The first thing I do when I buy a $1 billion and 80-year-old, franchise is I think of how the hell do I kill it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Just suffocate it.
Do you guys,
Watch
any of
it.
you guys James Bond fans?
Yep.
No,
No, not really.
not got
I am.
into it. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which any specific favorites?
What the two not is it Die Another Day that was with Pierce Brosnan?
Yes.
Yeah, it was that one. I get it confused with the one that like just came out with Daniel Craig.
No Time to Die.
Yeah.
And then there was also Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, they got a lot of similar names over there in England.
They do that.
Yeah.
But you like Die Another Day? Wow, that's controversial. I
Hey,
like
man.
it. I like it. That's like somebody coming here and telling us like they like The Last Jedi. It's up there.
Reminds me of.
Yeah.
Oh my God! No, that's a crime against humanity.
Yeah.
Like you deserve to be tried in the Hague if you like that movie.
The thing about Die Another Day is like it's not as good as the other 3 Pierce Brosnan movies, but
For sure.
compared to what comes out now, it's just a fun action movie.
Yeah.
I do like that they go to Cuba.
Yeah, I think part of it might be why the Daniel Craig movies to me, they're just like, it doesn't feel right. Like, it just kind of feels like it's been, like, Casino Royale and the one after that, they kind of felt like,
I love Casino Royale.
Yeah,
and I
it
am
was
one
a
of
really
the few
good
that
movie.
likes Quantum of Solace. You just have to take motion sickness meds before you watch it.
I liked Quantum of Solace more than I did Casino Royale, but at the like,
Oh, wow.
but after that, it was just all fucking downhill. Like, a hard cliff drop.
I liked Skyfall.
That
I mean,
was-
it's just Home Alone. The end is just Home Alone with old people. But I like it. Spectre was boring.
I don't even think I've seen that one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a mistake. This is a problem when everything has been consolidated down to just a few corporations. That's only going to get worse over the next 5 to 10 years, because no matter what, look, these Hollywood studios are hemorrhaging. They're failing right now. Disney had one good year in the last 3 or 4 years, post pandemic, but every other company is kind of, by the skin of its teeth. They're just getting by. Tech companies have all the money. Amazon has all the money that they want to. Apple, for like you said, they might not be able to buy Disney, but they're flush, right? Plenty of people are going to buy the iPhone 16, I am sure.
Yeah, like these are some of the only companies that are valued over $1 trillion, and like they're the most valued in the world.
But you are correct. It's my own dislike of the snobbishness of Apple TV Plus that keeps me from watching it. It doesn't mean that they're not creating original content. It's just it doesn't get any of the.
It doesn't get the same play.
It doesn't get the same play.
Yeah, because you gotta buy like a $500 box to put into your TV, then you gotta pay $20 a month for it, and then you gotta use an Apple device. So like you're already down or up Shit's Creek without.
Sounds
a paddle.
awful.
I watched it on Tubi. I don't know what you're talking about.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.